Marxists of Egypt, Lutfi Kholi, Ibrahim Amr, Ismail Sabri Abdallah, and all of them. But I never met their wives.
Yes.
Even if I was invited to their homes, I didn't meet their wives. Then in the 70s, in a bookshop in Beirut at that time, I found a book. It was called El Marra wal Gins.
Yes.
And I was studying Arabic, and I just had reached the stadium where I could understand such a book. And I read it. And I got a shock, but I also understood a lot that I hadn't understood before. You learned me enormously, you taught me enormously about the women in the Arab world, but also about women generally. Yeah. And I'm very grateful for you to that. You have described the problem, but more. You are not only a scientist, you are also an activist. Yeah. You have started to act on this. And that is so important, because I don't think that we can come from nice Scandinavia and teach you and tell you how to liberate women in this part of the world. We can support you, we can give you our experiences, but there must be a feminist liberation movement in these countries so we can support it. And you have been a pioneer. Now there are hundreds and thousands of them, but you have been a pioneer, and I am enormously grateful to have known you. And I now want to give you a hug, and then I must rush away because Thank you, all of you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Nawal, the second.
From
Loud.
Yes. European Feminist Initiative. But speaking in front of this feminist assembly today is a great honor. I cannot express all my emotion and share these days among women's rights activists to whom I have paid tribute from a very early age, as they had the courage to denounce the voiceless injustice women have been suffering from. I want to particularly express my admiration to Nawal El-Saadaoud.
Loud.
Who highly contributed to my feminist consciousness and activism from my teenage. I was born in France, Nawal, and brought up in a family of the first generation of Algerian immigrants who settled in France. As many of my compatriots, I led a simple life in a traditional family, but was lucky enough to live in very quiet suburban areas, with all I determined respective roles according to the traditional standards. So there were a strong difference between the first generation of girls and the youngest one to whom I belong. I suppose this gap has been rooted in the education level, as with the youngest could pursue higher education. My elder sister were quickly settled into a traditional arranged marital life and sent back in my parents' home country. We, the youngest, were lucky enough to find our way out to empowerment, emancipation, and independence. 2 members in my family of 11 children were somehow outcast, my brother and myself. Amazingly, we were both born in the context of the Algerian independence war and might have breathed the wind of change to be shaped into a rebel spirit, as we were both involved into political actions as young adults. Nawal came when the wind of revolt blew in my life, as was 20. I hate to be a girl, and my condition that implied submission and injustice. My mother wanted me docile, devoted, and apolitical. At first, my feminism was built through the narrative of heroic Algerian mujahideens and the book of the Algerian writer Fadela Mrabet. Later, during the years, I became inspired by Colette, Simone de Beauvoir, Virginia Woolf, and not least Marilyn French. In 1982, Nawal Sadawi revealed me, thanks to the demystification of the Arab Muslim woman, the hidden face of Eve. A very good subversive book. Me and my sister read it in secret. Nawal Sadawi, more than any other women writers, denounced women's status in Muslim countries. She showed me how the strict monotheist religions jailed women into subordination of a patriarchal system, the male domination, and sexual control. As Simone de Beauvoir did earlier for me, Nawal took a very important place in my cultural heritage. She was able to give me a convincing answer to my question about my women's condition. I understood the link between patriarchal politics of fundamentalist regimes, whether based on religion or on dominant culture, as the more subtle patriarchate of Western democracies. Women from all over the world are the same fight against social, economical, cultural, political inequalities, against sexist laws. They aspire to live in countries where freedom of conscience really exists and not, as now in many places, forbidden. They fight for secularism, for egalitarian civil laws, and for separation of state and religion. We have the same universal values. On one hand, I observe the political game of the leaders of the theocratic countries and the countries where there is the unique party in the Muslim countries. Also, I don't be silenced by the rhetoric of the Islamists and the communitarists in the European and international institutions. Since the women wish their autonomy and ask the question of the egalitarian rights between men and women, except the identical or religious reference, we are stopped in our run, and is set to us the label of Westernized. If we approach the question of the secularism, we call upon us that the Islam is incompatible with the secularism. The political Islam has put a guilt complex on the progressive and the feminist activists when it comes to the question of the secularism and universal moral values. In the same way, the Islamists drop their ideology in the modernistic special effect of their speech by using the Islamist feminists to strengthen slowly but surely their project of medieval society. The Islamic feminists do not argue against the Islamists and the representatives of the Muslim states by denouncing the personal status. We institutionalize the inferiorization of the woman. I think they in the way try to persuade people that it is a modern Islam. Together, they work to projects which would offer a place to the woman in the public place. For me, it is a problem because the Islamic feminist does not go the same ways as women's rights. Yes, j'arrive là. Nawal, I read again extracts of 12 women in Canada you wrote. I had to wait for my 50th birthday and for my stay in prison to realize that the solidarity between women is more dangerous than the atom bomb. Only our solidarity threatened the prison authorities. Is it for it that we forbid the women to get organized in the Egyptian political parties, that they are or left or right in the power or in the opposition? Nawal, I want to thank you, and I hope you will continue for a long time to be a mother who opened the mind of your daughters, for being unpleased to the political authorities and fundamentalist organizations. We must be more dangerous than atom bomb by realizing solidarity between women and citizens all around the world. Like the slaves become free, like the colonized countries accept to the independence, the feminists should break the chains and engage the political transformation. It is an utopia that could become reality. Thank you.
A revolution in Mexico, which is constituted by a lot of women, and Rigoberta Menchuda was also, it's a very important feminist, and one of the things that she always says is we want men in our feminist in our reunions because we want them to hear us. So that's why they want also the men there. So we want them to hear us. And you also taught me that we as men have to go inside us and reflect on the world that has been created that we inherit also as men, and that men have created through religion, through all sorts of structural compounds that we have to first get to know and then destroy or try to change. And so I wrote a poem in Spanish that is called Reinvolución. And it's not a revolution, but re-involution. So that's a way to go inside of us to first understand what we have created or what the world has created and what we have inherited, and to try to fight it. And so it's a poem that talks about new ideas that you have brought into us, que se llama Reinvolución. Y dice así: nuevas ideas novias circulan en el ganglio aterido, fracasando dientes en el vientre más dulce y más profundo del corazón. ¿Cómo no contemplar la devolución del parto rayado, aparte cuando ya entonces, últimamente, no sin querer lastimar, por supuesto, efluvios pardos del yo, de sociedades de alteridades y sociedades homónimas, renacen en espejos disléxicos de espacios huecos de aljabas bárbaras, donde un rencoroso rayo rengo atiza más que nunca fulminantes luminarias febias.
Feel that I have come out of her body and her blood, because this is very, it made me what I am. Because if I had to choose a mother, I would choose only Nawal to be my mother. She is as if she's my God, if it's a good word to say. I mean, she taught me everything that can make me strong, distant, and she encouraged me to make writing, creative writing, to be my career. And she always said to me, don't wait the outside world or the critics to acknowledge your writing. Just the pleasure of writing, this is your only reward. So, and the best thing that she has done, that she was never my mother at all. She gave me the total freedom from childhood to be my own mother. I was my own mother. I never heard, do that, don't do that, study your lessons, don't study, you come at this clock, don't, at this hour, or wear this, or never. I was my mother. I decide everything in my childhood, study or not study, or to play or not to play, and she was like a model to me. failure. That's why I said to myself, since I'm the daughter of Nawal al-Saadawi, I was born to win. I cannot allow myself to fail in anything I do, because just the fact that I'm her daughter, to be successful and to win and to maybe I'm defeated in one battle or two battles, but the most important thing that I come up again and learn something from my defeat, and not to surrender. This is very important in Nawal's life. She's been through different battles, and with the government, with the fundamentalists, with men and women from the right, from the left, from the middle, from everyone and everywhere. But she never lost her inner confidence in herself. I always ask her, why all the time you never lose this charismatic and inspiring power? She said, because I believe so strongly in myself, in my heart, in my mind. So, I don't know what, I'm not, I'm a little bit tense because I'm talking about the person who made me. And because you
made yourself.
She got married 3 times. And she was able to protect me against the 3 wrong marriages. The 3 wrong men that she was because each one of them was patriarchal and male domination. No matter they speak about progress and equality, but really she stood in the face of every husband who wanted to dominate us, in fact, not only me. So all the words and and all the poems they can write about her are not enough. But I say thank you to everything that you did for
me. Thanks for Dr. Nawal al-Saadawi, who's invited me to this conference. Thanks for Lillian for giving me this chance to express my gratitude to this woman. Actually, when you've asked me to do this speech, I felt speechless actually. I did not know actually what to say. But I will go to state 3 facts. Fact number 1, this great woman and this great thinker and this extraordinary intellectual hosts us every month in her home. We students, and seculars of Egypt, we go there in her house every month, to discuss everything, books, novels, to current events. We discuss everything and we learn a lot from her. She's the motivation for us, and she's the engine who's pushing us, to face all these extremists and fundamentalists outside, So just we go there every month and we wait for every Wednesday of every month, just to the first Wednesday of every month, just to speak out, and release all our energies, which are
Become healing.
Absolutely, yes. Fact number 2, this woman is completely disregarded by the Egyptian media, because actually she is the only one who stands with no compromise against the Islamists. She is completely disregarded from the media. So that's why I felt I am very relieved now when the recognition of this woman comes from every nationality on earth. No matter what's your nationality, but I'm very relieved for this conference and this fact number 3. This is my fact number 3. I am very relieved to release that, and I'm very relieved to share that with you real supporters of Dr. Nawal, and you know her real value, which no one here in Egypt knows it. I'm very grateful for you all. Thank you very much.
Beautiful speech. I want to sing for you, Nawal, not only because you like me to sing, but because you have encouraged me in my life so much. I wasn't sure I was even going to be able to come. As you know, I have lost the companion of my life of 33 years, and it's been very difficult, but he was an admirer of yours, and he would have encouraged me to come. And I have gotten a lot of support, actually, from coming here. It has been very uplifting to me to be with all of you and to see that the struggle is going on. The song that I want to sing now is a song I composed at a coalition for women in Istanbul in 2007, when right after Israel attacked Lebanon in 2006. And I was with these women and I wrote this song, and I have made an adaptation now also for you. And maybe you can all join in at the end. Resist, resist, resist. You taught us to resist. We are so thankful to you now. Resist, resist, resist. For all of us, resist. For the rest of the world, resist. In Arabic, qawmi. Qawmi, qawmi, qawmi. For all of us, qawmi. For the rest of the world, qawmi. In Turkish, diran. Diran, diran, diran. For all of us, diran. For the rest of the world, diran. In Malaysian and Indonesian, lawan. Lawan, lawan, lawan. For all of us, lawan. For the rest of the world, lawan. In Filipino, makibaka. Makibaka, makibaka, makibaka. For all the rest of makibaka. For the rest of the world, makibaka. In Urdu and Pakistani, yago. Yago, 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 yago. For all of us, yago. For the rest of the world, yago. We are all women. We are all women. Last summer we were all Lebanese. 60 years for Palestine. One day in January, all Turks were Armenians. All Turks were Armenians. We are with the suffering, the wounded of the earth, the wounded of the world. Sexuality is the order of the world. Bring down the walls, give hope to all. Bring down the walls, give hope to all. Resist, resist, resist. You taught us to resist. We are thankful to you. Now.
Bravo.